Hello, welcome to Animore. This is a weekly show that will inform you more about animals and animal welfare. Today I'm privileged to have Mr. Tennyson Williams, the Country Director, Wild Animal Protection, Africa's Office. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Sophia.
Thank you for having us. So kindly tell us about what you do and a brief background about wild animal protection.
I am the director for the Africa region, as you have mentioned. And my job involves making sure that the global strategy for the organization is understood and delivered across the African continent. And I also ensure that we have the right staff in place to do the job. I also make sure that the various actors across the continent, businesses, governments, civil society, understand why we exist, what we are about, what we want to do, and how they can be part of our journey. I also make sure that we mobilize the necessary resources for the kind of work that we do, because it's important we have the finances, as you will be well aware, and also make sure that the other systems that needs to be in place are actually second to none, so that we can deliver top-notch programs.
You've mentioned that you want people to understand what it is you guys do. So what exactly is wild animal protection?
Wild Animal Protection, as the name suggests, is an animal welfare outfit. As a matter of fact, we are one of the largest organizations that deals with animal welfare matters globally. We have, at the UN level, for example, an agreement that we have signed as an organization that has actually dedicated itself to deliver good animal welfare. And in that respect, we bring very clearly that until and unless animals are part of the development solution around the world, it's going to be difficult for this world to be a different place. The other thing is that we want to make sure that people understand that animals cannot just be treated anyhow by us human beings. They are sentient, which means they feel, they suffer, they feel pain, and they deserve good life like all of us human beings. The other reality is that we human beings need animals more than animals need us. And if we do our bit, it is in our best interest that we treat animals right. We look at animals in the wild with special reference to animals that should not be used for entertainment, because animals are abused around the world for purposes of entertainment. Also, we look at animals that serve the purposes of providing comfort for people who can afford it. Millionaires around the world take animals from the wild and they convert them to pets, known as exotic pets. We are saying all wild animals belong in the wild. So you shouldn't be removing those animals. If you need pleasure from them, if you need entertainment from them, they can still provide that to you when they are in their natural habitat. You don't have to bring them to your home. We are also saying that the practice of using wildlife for traditional medicine is something that we need to be careful around, because our interaction with those animals more than likely will cause them suffering and pain, and hence we are saying it's not appropriate. The other aspect we look at is companion animals, with special reference to dogs. Dogs are man's best friend, and we should understand why that saying was established before you and I were born, Sophia. But what has man done to its friend called dog? We have actually victimized the dog. The dog has been blamed for every ill in society. What we are saying, without any apology, is that we can do better. Our dogs deserve a good life. We should vaccinate them, we should treat them well. The other element that we look at is animals in disasters. Sophia, the truth of the matter is when disasters strike, who cares for these animals? And yet, we forget that as human beings, when we want to recover from disasters, animals are part of the solution. So it's in our best interest that we treat our animals right. So that is what World Animal Protection is about.
Quite some interesting motives you guys are engaging in. Time for a short break now, but here's a feel of the work Wild Animal Protection is doing around the world.
First few hours we've been here is a real need for animals.
Thousands and thousands of animals are actually caught in discarded fishing gear.
We are trying to help animals by helping people, and vice versa. That's what world animal protection is all about.
Welcome back to Animore. Mr. Williams, you mentioned that you've been here since 2013. So what are some of the challenges you've faced over the years?
The first challenge, Sophia, is that animal welfare was considered Western. In fact, I had a friend whom I told that, you know what, I'm shifting job. I'm now going to work for an animal welfare organization. And he said to me, oh, Williams, you mean you've solved all the human problems, now you want to go solve animal problems. But this just tells you the level of ignorance and what we need to do, how much work we need to do. Yeah? So really, this is part of the continuum which we need to bring much more closer, because it is going to be in our best interest, as I have said. You know, there is a lot that we can do together. There is a lot that we can benefit from animals. From farming animals to animals in communities, that is part of what we inherited. It's part of our heritage, and we need to take care of it.
Again, since 2013, what are some of the notable milestones you as World Animal Protection have?
Oh, from that time on, right now, one of the biggest achievements we have on the African continent, for the first time, it's an animal welfare strategy for Africa. That is massive. As an organization, on the other hand, we've been able to partner with one of the biggest travel agents around the world, TripAdvisor, who has partnered with us to understand that they can actually sell their business to the tourism industry, to people who travel, by advising them also not to buy into the whole business of using elephants for entertainment. This is quite an issue, because, Sophia, before you have the opportunity to ride an elephant, the elephant is subjected to a lot of difficult situations. Imagine a wild beast being made to subdue to offer you entertainment. That we have succeeded. So today, TripAdvisor is not selling their packages, including elephant rides, into it. Here in Kenya, working in Makueni, it will interest you to know that we have worked with the local community, a group of people who organized themselves into a small organization who were actually milking cow. And all they were getting for a long time is about 19 liters of milk. When we introduced them to the concept of animal welfare, they inculcated the practice. It warms my heart to realize that those people now can actually make over 300 liters of milk. That is a public good. We need to address all these issues. Then life can be better. If we ignore them, what goes around comes around, Sophia.
Tennyson, with such big dreams and major achievements, I'm sure you are excited to see how this picture plays in the field. Time for a short break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned to Animore, where animal lives matter. Now, before the break, Mr. Tennyson, we were talking about the way forward for this project. Can you give us an instance or a story that best shows how your organization's input has been impacted?
In addition to the earlier examples, TripAdvisor, the case in Makueni, I'll just cite that in Zanzibar, in Tanzania, where we worked for many, many years, that is a very heartwarming story that we have there, an experience. It will interest my audience and yourself to know that 65% of the animals there have actually been vaccinated, the dogs. So Zambia is on the path of a success story that we want to tell the entire world that in fact you can really eliminate rabies and you can give dogs a good life, as a matter of fact. So that is one thing. We also want to pride ourselves around the global strategy which I mentioned, because at the policy level, that is a very important space. All the heads of states in Africa signed up to that. Of course, it's not something we did alone. We did it in partnership with other actors, including the Africa Union. So it is very, very possible. And we have removed a number of animals that have actually been exposed to disaster in many places. I remember we were in Madagascar, where the government of Madagascar and us, we worked on a very interesting initiative when the cyclone was actually moving in and a lot of animals were actually exposed. We helped the government there to actually protect a number of animals. In Malawi, we have done the same. Earlier on, we were in Congo-Brazzaville, where we worked with the government of Congo-Brazzaville to look at this issue of rabies and dogs. We are in Sierra Leone, where we are doing very good work. That's one of the countries with the highest number of stray dogs. And we are there working in partnership with the requisite government agency, agriculture, and health to actually address those. So there are a number of these kinds of stories which we need to put together to develop what we are calling a compelling series of experiences, so that other people can actually look at practical cases of success, so that it makes it easier for us to bring them all on board, because we need to build that movement that actually will stand in solidarity with animals.
You're trying to bring everyone on board on this, so what are some of the avenues you are using to create awareness?
This is one of the avenues. We are using the potential, we are using the professionalism, we are using the technology that you guys in the media industry have, because we need to reach far and wide with our message. We are, of course, on social media. We are using Twitter, we are using Facebook, we are using Instagram, all these platforms we are using. We have a number of hashtags that people can actually go online and see what we are doing. We are encouraging people to sign petitions, for example, to stand with us to say that we take this position together with you because we believe in it. We want to mobilize consumers who walk into fast food restaurants to procure chicken to eat. We want them to go into those restaurants with the realization that they could be eating chicken that is not fit for food, because they need to know how they were raised. But these days, as you know, many people walk into a restaurant, pick up a chicken, off they go, without actually thinking that these animals could have been bred under very difficult and odious conditions. So these are some of the things we want to do. So we are using media. We want media to be part and parcel of our work, including social media and, of course, print media. So that's what we want to do.
We keep talking about animal welfare. Maybe you could enlighten us about what these animal freedoms are.
First, it is about all animals should be free from hunger, thirst, and disease. That is very important. And malnutrition, sorry. Hunger, thirst, malnutrition. All animals must be free from that. Second, all animals must be free from discomfort. It is very important that animals are actually provided with the right conditions so that they can exhibit what they need to exhibit. Number three, all animals must be able to exercise normal behavior. All animals must be free from distress and fear. You know, when you slaughter an animal in front of another animal, you are creating fear into that animal. If you chase a chicken around in the village for a long while before you slaughter that chicken, the quality of meat you are having is interfered with because you have triggered the hormones when you are chasing that animal. So what you get in turn is actually not good for you. So distress and fear is not good for our animals. Last but not least, all animals should be free from injury, pain, and disease. We have to be able to treat those. You and I will seek for treatment when we are in those kind of situations. Our animals also deserve more. So we are not asking for too much. Those 5 freedoms should be given to animals. And by the way, we are talking about animal welfare, not animal rights. It is important that our audience understands that there is a distinction between rights and welfare. We are not saying people should not eat meat. Of course, there is a new discussion about eating less meat as the way to go. But on this occasion, we are talking more about welfare as opposed to rights.
Quite some interesting pointers I'm picking from this, Mr. Tennyson. Thank you very much. On that note, I'm sure you're set for 12 weeks of exploration on animal welfare. Next week, I'll be in the field. Catch you then. I am Sophia Salim, and this is Animore. Thank you very much.
What we do is that we work to improve the welfare conditions in which the animals live and the challenges that they face.